Hello, hello, and welcome to Sugar Free for a Better Me. I'm Amy Rybicki with Simply Natural Coaching. And if you're tuning in for the first time, I started this series last week, and it really is for anyone who's struggling with sugar. So if you find that you're lacking energy or that you're craving sugar all the time and you don't know why, I'm giving some tips on things that you can implement into your life very easily to help you kick sugar to the curb. And last week we talked about adding more water and movement. I'm going to give you another tip today in just a little bit. But really today, I want to talk a little bit about what's behind our cravings. So we've been addressing kind of the physical part of it and how we can put things into our lifestyle to help us kick the physical cravings. But I'd like you to consider what's behind your cravings. I know for myself, I can cram a whole lot into a day in my schedule, and I often have overscheduled myself for the week. And most people I know are running around kind of with their heads cut off. They're rushing everywhere, and they really are challenged when it comes to slowing down and being still. And so from my own experience with this and with sugar is I found that when I recognize that I've been rushing through the day and never really slowed down or took a break is when I often crave sugar or caffeine. And so to think about some things you could do in your day to give you some mini breaks in between, and maybe even some movement in between your day to keep you energized and to give yourself a chance to slow down and maybe be more mindful of how you're feeling, how you're thinking, and the choices that you're making. Because sometimes sugar can be just kind of a sign or symptom that we really need something else. And we're giving it sugar thinking that's the easiest thing to grab and it's a quick pick-me-up to give you some instant energy. But like we talked about last week, the physical things that can happen with eating sugar can be disastrous. And it never really solves the problem anyway. So if we're struggling with slowing down and balancing our life more, we want to kind of recognize what really wants to be nourished in our life that we're not tuning into, and we're just kind of masking it with eating more sugar. So for me, in my own experience, it was really a sign or symptom that I was moving too fast. I didn't take breaks. I had a goal every day to try to accomplish as much as I could. And I've been raised in a family that, emphasized working and not to take breaks or relax. And so I was really in a vicious cycle of rush, 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 do a whole lot, eat some sugar, try to keep going. And when I finally recognized that and I started implementing some things into my day that would eliminate that and give me the opportunity to maybe slow down, implement some quiet times throughout my day, just mini breaks, worked on breathing and kind of meditating or praying at times. So it gave me the opportunity to tune in to what I really needed versus just eating sugar and then never solving the problem. So I'd like you to consider what things could you do in your life simply to implement instead of always going for the sugar. And since we've been working on adding more water, I'm hoping that you've been having some success this last week, trying to drink more water throughout the day, as well as get moving. And this week, the challenge or the tip I'd like to suggest is that you try to reduce or eliminate your caffeine intake. And again, depending on you, depending on how it's affecting you, you may want to just reduce it and not eliminate it if it's not affecting you greatly. But if you notice that you are craving that caffeine at certain times of the day, then if you implement some things like what I just talked about of slowing down, more mini breaks, some movement throughout the day, you might notice you're not craving that caffeine as much. Remember, caffeine mimics the sugar high and the crash. So your body responds the same way when you drink caffeine, particularly in the middle of the day. You'll have that instant rush, and then you also crash. So we want to try to minimize the things that we're taking in and eating and drinking so that we can really start tuning into what our body is telling us. And that's your tip for this week, is to try to reduce or eliminate your caffeine. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how it's going with your water intake as well as your movement. And now this third tip that I'm suggesting with your caffeine, and also considering what it is that maybe you really are missing. If you're finding you are rushing everywhere, have trouble slowing down, what sort of things maybe have become habits over the years that you didn't notice before? And what are some things that you could do to try to tune in to what you really need versus just eating sugar? So any thoughts, please, you can put them in the chat. If anyone has is tuning in right now and they have any questions or anything you'd like to ask me, I'm hanging out here for a couple minutes, and I would love to help you with any of your challenges when it comes to sugar and your cravings and what's behind it. So I know for me, it's usually because I'm rushing everywhere and I don't slow down. So I'm trying to work on balancing my day and making sure I give myself enough downtime where I'm really resting and not doing anything else. Could be some reading, could be just sitting quietly and just not being so busy. So thanks for tuning in, and please give me some suggestions or thoughts in the comment about how's it going on your kicking sugar to the curb. Our goal is to lead a sugar-free lifestyle and still really enjoy it and have fun with what we're doing. Thanks for tuning in. Until next week. Bye for now.